still new to all this streaming stuff. So a bit of a learning curve here. So thank you guys for bearing with me. Really appreciate it. Just setting all this stuff up. Should be good to go now. Yeah, looks like everything's running smoothly here. Okay, I think I got everything set up now. Just want to make sure that we don't have any of that horrible audio echo lag from earlier. That was really bad. It was hurting my ears. Okay, now we can really get started with this. I think this is a little bit better here. All right. Okay, so hopefully this time it should be running smoothly without any audio issues. If anything does come up, if you guys can't hear me well or the video or audio is just not cooperating, let me know so I can figure it out and fix it, because the last thing I want you guys to experience is that horrible screeching echo from earlier. Yeah, because that was not fun. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me on my live stream here. Super chill, super kickback. Don't have any particular show or anything. But that's part of the reason why I am streaming today. I wanted to share some stuff with you guys as to what I've been up to, what I've been doing, what I want to do, and all the projects and ideas that I have in mind. So some of you guys might be like, oh my gosh, where has Frankie been the last few years? This guy has been just AWOL or not really, in the mix of things, which is true, because I've been all over the place. The last few years of my life have been just ups and downs, roller coaster, that's life. And I mean, even just the last few months, as we all know, it's been pretty crazy, pretty chaotic. There's a lot of differing opinions, we'll say, in terms of how we should be going about our days and our lives and such. And everyone is entitled to their opinion, and one thing that I want to remind everyone is that just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean that you have to hate them or that they have to hate you. I know it's difficult. It's not an easy thing, but I feel like we should be aiming to have a discourse and open communication with each other and really get to understand one another, which is obviously a lot easier said than done. My idea for that actually comes from my experiences the last few years. So I went to UC Irvine a few years ago. I stayed in the area. I stayed in Orange County after I graduated, and I was working different kinds of jobs in the mental health field, which was pretty amazing. I got to work with a lot of amazing individuals, a lot of incredible people. I got to meet so many people from different backgrounds, and it really gave me an opportunity to experience and really be exposed to different thought patterns, different backgrounds, different cultures, and the likes. So I was actually working for a nonprofit. It was Western Youth Services. I was with them for a couple of years, and I was working with them as an outreach specialist. So what I was doing is I was working with individuals and families, and in the school setting, in the clinical setting, in any capacity you could think of for mental health. And it was a lot of good memories, a lot of good experience, and it was a lot of hard work. It was very difficult because we were working with individuals and families and populations that were underserved or unserved, and that's a difficult thing to try and bring all these resources to them and really get them to engage with all those resources and such. So I was wearing a lot of different hats. My official title was outreach and engagement specialist, And what that encompassed was I was a case manager. So I was working with people one on one. I was also doing support groups. I was working with people in school settings or group settings. And I was giving educational workshops, again, in the schools and just any area that you could think of. And as great as an experience as that was, I got to help individuals develop healthy coping mechanisms and all these other things. I, little by little, just wasn't doing what I was preaching, and after a while, I felt like a hypocrite. Like, how can I be this person who's going out and telling these people what to do in order to take care of themselves and improve themselves and all of this, but I'm not doing that myself for me, right? So it got to the point where I was just neglecting myself, really putting myself on the back burner, not making myself a priority. And it took me quite some time to really accept that and to actually do something about it. So for a good while, I was really dealing with a lot of just the burnout, a lot of things that in my life that were making it even more difficult. Things such as relationships, or just thinking of changing career paths, thinking about my family and what I can do to really be there for them. How can I support them? How can I be a citizen who contributes to society and things like that? And so a lot of that stuff was really weighing on me, and it got to the point where I just chipped at myself, and of course life was happening too. It chipped away at me. So eventually I reached this almost breaking point. And that's when I decided, hey, I really, really need to take a step back and take care of myself. So after working full-time for this nonprofit, Western Youth Services, for a couple of years, 2.5 years, if I recall correctly, and before that, I was in the mental health field, just working as an ABA therapist and instructional aide and all those other jobs. So really, maybe it was almost like 4 years in total that I was in that mental health field, trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. Got to the point where I got to my breaking point, and I decided, hey, I really need to take a step back and not only be aware of all the information that I have gathered and that I am teaching others and sharing with them, but also it was important for me to start applying that in my own life. That was my number one mistake. I wasn't applying what I already knew, what I had been learning. And obviously that resulted in very negative, very unfortunate circumstances for myself. I was depressed. I had a lot of anxiety. It was just not good. I was unhealthy. I wasn't taking care of myself, not physically, not mentally, right? And it took me some time to really realize, hey, I need to take this step back and really just gather myself, right? I felt like I was broken into a bunch of little pieces here and there and scattered everywhere. And ultimately, that, as difficult as it was to go through that, it gave me the opportunity, or I started seeing it as an opportunity for myself to be able to rebuild myself in the image or in the way that I feel that I want to be. So I took advantage of that. I ended up leaving my position as an outreach and engagement specialist, and decided that I was going to pursue a new career, a new passion of mine, which has always been music. Hence why I'm here today. It hasn't been easy. That was around, I'm going to say 2016, I think, is when I ultimately decided that I wanted to start pursuing music again. And it wasn't easy because I left my full-time job and I figured, okay, I'm going to be a DJ. But it's not like I can go apply somewhere and be like, hey, I'm a DJ, hire me, and start working full-time just like that. Like, that's not how it happened. It took some time. Thankfully, I had some connections. I had gathered some resources before I really decided to dive into this whole thing. And thankfully, it has been working out for me. Actually, a few months after I left my position as an outreach and engagement specialist, I ended up getting a job as a DJ at this location where they held weddings and quinceañeras and just an event banquet hall. It was at Marinash, and I was actually out in Moreno Valley. So I was driving from Irvine out to Moreno Valley pretty much every weekend. Any gigs I could take, I would. I'd be like, hey, I just any kind. I don't care. It's a quinceañera, cool. It's a bar mitzvah, whatever. It's a wedding, great. Anniversary, all right. I'm all in. So I was really just throwing myself out there, and thankfully that paid off because I was able to make some connections from that, and it was somewhat of a consistent-ish gig to where I was maybe DJing 2 or 3 times a month, and it was great. The only problem was that I was having to drive almost 2-3 hours to do these gigs. So that was great. It gave me that experience to really be out in front of the crowds and do all that stuff. It was a lot of fun. Eventually, I decided to leave that and really start doing more of this freelance of doing my own gigs and really going out there and finding my own gigs, because thankfully I was able to gather some connections and just went from there. Right, it just wasn't feasible for me to be driving 3 hours every weekend, and breaking even essentially for these gigs. And so I started going out on my own, started doing my own things. I actually got to DJ quite a number of events, and that held me over. But of course, like I said, it's not like I automatically had this whole I'm a full-time DJ now, right? I had to go out and find my gigs and all that stuff. So I figured, all right, well, DJing is going well, but it's not as consistent as I want it to be. I should probably find another job, have something that's a little bit more consistent. So I ended up working at a nonprofit in Ventura County, kind of going back into the mental health field, because it had been about a year since I had left that, and I felt a little bit more energized to be able to really go back into that. And so I was actually working in Ventura County Nonprofit Center, and I got to work there, and I was working at the 211 call center as well. So I actually got into that part of the VC Nonprofit Center, and I became a contact specialist. So I was the person on the phone working with individuals who call 211. If you need resources, wherever you may be, dial 211. You guys can call them, let them know, hey, I'm looking for this kind of resource or that kind of resource. They're super awesome, super friendly, very professional. I would know because I was one of them. I was a contact specialist, right? So if you're going through any kind of crisis, I definitely encourage you guys to reach out to them. 211. It's very simple to remember, and hopefully they'll be able to help you out. For the most part, they can. Of course, they don't always have the answers, but even when they don't, they do their best to try that and figure that out for you. So I was with them for a good while, and I decided, well, I still want to branch out and try different venues. So I actually went back and I went to bartending school, because I figured, hey, well, anytime that I'm DJing at these parties or events, they typically have a bartender. Bartenders, what do? They get paid to make drinks, right? Obviously, they need to know how to make good drinks so that these people keep coming back. But not only that, they actually get to communicate with them, right? So that was the one thing that I noticed with DJing. As far as the networking aspect, it was somewhat difficult for me to, go out and talk to these people, because really the only people that were coming up to me were the people in charge or the host, and maybe a few people here and there who wanted to make a request. But other than that, I really didn't talk to too many people. I was just in charge of the music. Bartenders, on the other hand, that's part of their job, is to be able to communicate with people, right? Build that rapport and that connection, right? Keep them coming back for these drinks and having them, serving them responsibly, of course, and helping it to be a good time. So that's part of the reasons why I decided, okay, I'm going to go to bartending school. I was there in Ventura, so it was very convenient, super close to where I'm at. I figured, all right, I'm working part-time at the call center. I can go to the bartending school on my days off, and so it took me a couple of months because I was going at my own pace, which was great because it wasn't like I had to be at the class every Tuesday or whatever day. I got to be able to do it at my own pace. So after a few months, I finally finished the courses. I learned all the stuff, and I became a bartender. I actually have my tip certification and all that stuff. So I learned how to serve properly, serve responsibly, and I can do all that stuff, which was a lot of fun. From there, I actually started bartending in a couple of different places, and I started seeing that it really was working out in the direction that I thought it would, which was awesome, right? It was super great. I got to meet a lot of people, a lot of awesome people, make some great connections, and not necessarily for DJing or for music, but just in general. I got to really meet these great individuals, and I felt like that was a component because I was so busy beforehand just focusing on being professional and, doing what I can. And then admittedly at times I felt like I wasn't even meeting up to those standards. That bartending really gave me that opportunity to really be myself again, to really reach out and talk to people and have fun. I felt like I was actually enjoying what I was doing again. I wasn't all burnt out. Not that I didn't enjoy the stuff that I was doing beforehand, but it was just, I was just way too stressed out. But of course, as we all know, just from this last year, it's been pretty hectic. Coronavirus happened. COVID-19 happened. and as a bartender, it obviously has affected me quite deeply. I obviously have not been able to bartend. And DJing as well. Like I can't DJ live events. However, this is basically the whole point of this whole live stream that I'm doing right now. I might not be able to perform in front of people with DJing. Obviously, I can't bartend. Who am I going to serve drinks to? Myself? I guess I could do that, but it's just me. I'm 2-3 drinks in, and I'm already going to be on the floor. So, no thanks. But it turns out that you can live stream, right? That's what I'm doing here. And I can mix. I can put music out there. I can do something and engage with the people without actually having to be out there and doing all that stuff. So that's basically what I'm getting to here with this long-winded rant of me and sharing my experiences. Is just me letting you all know that I will be starting my own live stream shows. Right now I have a couple of ideas that I'm working on. I'm trying to see which one is going to work best and see really how it'll develop. There is one particular show that I feel has stood out and I've kind of gravitated most to. And that one is actually, I'm going to be calling it the Monday Midnight Stream, or Monday Midnight Mix, rather. And that one's going to be purely EDM. I'm thinking right now it's going to be techno, maybe some drum and bass. But I might make it to multiple EDM genres. But the whole idea behind it is that that's the kind of music that I personally prefer to mix and to play. And I feel like that's also a genre. For example, techno. A lot of people give it or don't even give it a chance. They're like, oh, techno, like who listens to techno, And I'm just like, well, trust me, you just haven't listened to the right kind of techno, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to show you guys the way of technoism, as I like to call it. Right, so we have technoism going on. That's what I'm going to be sharing with people. Right, so that's going to be the Monday Midnight Mix. And as the title implies, it's going to be every Monday at midnight. So this one is really for my late birds, my night owls, and my just hardcore EDM techno fans, right? And I guess there's a difference, when they say EDM is electronic dance music. It's like, that's not techno. Techno is something like, all right, you elitist snobs, relax. Techno, it's music, it's electronics, it's electronic dance music, all right? So don't worry. I'm going to bring that to you guys. My other shows that I have in mind, these are kind of more of like the fun and more of like the request type of show. I haven't quite figured out what direction I'm gonna go with on that, but it's gonna be fun. That one will be maybe during the weekdays or maybe the weekends. It's kind of the other part that I'm trying to figure out, like what time would be best, right? So if you guys wanna be tuning into these shows, let me know in the comments. Let me know, hey, I would love to listen to a show on Tuesdays, or I would love to listen to a show on Fridays on with hip hop, or reggaeton on Wednesdays, or a throwback flashback show, whatever, right? So that's what I'm trying to figure out, and that's where I need your help. So if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. Put them in the comments. Let me know, hey, I want this kind of show to be going on, right? Because let's face it, we can't go to the club right now, but that doesn't mean that we can't bring the club to us, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get the club to you guys so you guys can club at home. You know what I mean? If you don't like them crowdy, sweaty dance floors, well, hey, you can have all the open space in your living room, right? Or maybe you do like the crowded, sweaty dance floors. That's fine. But you miss the music. Obviously, you can't. We need some music. So that's what we're gonna do. That's my idea, right? That's what I'm trying to do. So I have my Monday Midnight Mix. That one is for sure a little bit more developed. And then these other shows I'm gonna be figuring out. That's where I need your guys' help. So definitely let me know, like, what kind of music, right? Or Esmeralda, hello. You say in the evenings? Yeah, I'm thinking the evenings as well. So I'm trying to figure out like what time would be best. Maybe like 7 or 9. Right? Like which one would be best? I don't know. Yvette says, "Let's go." Yeah, Yvette, what's up? Sorry, I'm still new to this, so I gotta be reading all the updates here. Hola, tío. ¿Cómo anda? Saludos a todos allá. Let's see here. I'm trying to do multiple things here. All right, let's put some more music here in the background. Wait, no, that one's too slow. Let's put this one instead. Aha, much better. Yeah, so those are my main ideas right now, right? So I'm trying to figure all of that stuff out. One other thing too, I don't know if you guys use Discord. It's a voice channel type of app to communicate with people. That's something that I also have in mind that I want to start. I'm going to be starting my own Discord so that people can join in, you guys can chat and all this stuff. I also want to bridge and bring these other experiences I had with the mental health field, where I was helping people to gather resources and find whatever kind of assistance they needed. I also want to put that incorporated into what I'm doing here. Right? So I have a lot of projects that I'm working on that I'm really, really excited to be sharing with all of you guys, right? I'm still in development, right? I'm still trying to figure out, okay, what's going to be best, what's going to work, really what the difficulties are. So all this live streaming stuff, all this social media stuff is still new to me. If you know me, I know you guys have noticed that I have not, more recently I have been back on social media, but I was gone for a cool minute or two. I think it was maybe like 3 years, maybe almost 4 years that I was just not even using social media. Other than Twitter. Twitter's dope. If you don't have one, get one. That's the only social media that I did not stop using because it's Twitter and it's awesome. So shouts out to Twitter, yeah. Yeah, so that's basically all that I have for you guys today. Just wanted to share a couple of my ideas. I'm trying to figure out how to record all this stuff and post it. So if you guys know of any cool videos or tutorials or channels that I can follow for learning OBS or just how to stream in general, because let's face it, I'm a fucking noob at this. I don't know I guess I kind of know what I'm doing slightly, but could definitely use some help. Wow, I don't think I've talked that much in quite a while. All I've been doing is just being a hermit, staying inside, sheltering, during all these trying times. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for coming to the live stream. Um, I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking maybe Wednesdays and Fridays might be good days to stream. Maybe Wednesdays do like an oldies. I don't know, something. I don't know. Fridays I gotta do something to hype the people up. Right? It's Friday. That's when you go out, or maybe Saturday. I don't know. So drop a comment. Let me know. DM me. Do all that good stuff. I'm here to listen. I'm here to figure things out. We're gonna get through. We're gonna get through these trying times, these pandemics. We're gonna do it together. All right. That's what we're doing. Oh, hi, Alejandra. Hello. Thank you for joining me. I'm almost done the stream. I was just doing some announcements and stuff. Oh, Alejandra. Yes. Thank you for showing up. If you guys want to follow a really fun channel, my friend Alejandra here on the comments, Alejandra Herrera, she has the Lost Hema TV. Super fun. I usually go check out her streams. We play a lot of video games, a lot of Super Smash Bros. So if you guys are Super Smash Bros fanatics, go check her channel out. It's the Lost Hema TV. Sometimes I make appearances there, so you might see me as well. But if I'm not there, that's fine, because Alejandra is super fun, very entertaining. Check her stuff out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it for me for now. Thank you very much for joining me. Please, if you guys have any tutorials or somewhere that I can go learn how to use all this stuff, OBS and all that streaming stuff, please share it with me. I would greatly appreciate it, because I'm really trying to get this thing flying. Right? We're gonna do some big things, okay? All right, y'all. My name is Frankie Neptunes, aka DJ F Tunes, aka Francisco Fabian Marroquin Villalobos, aka. This has been my live stream. Follow me at all my socials: Twitter, IG, social or Snapchat, whatever. Literally all Frankie Neptunes, FRANKIE NEP, the number 2 UNES. All right, so go ahead and follow me. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I hope you guys are enjoying your evening, and I thank you very much for having joined me.